Okay, let's start off today's session. Once again, welcome to Module 2, Session 2. Okay, so Module 2, Session 2 has 3 sections. One is called BC Strategy, and one is called Plan Development, and the last one is called Testing Exercising. So today we'll be covering only BC Strategy and Plan Development. You notice I did not finish my statement called BC Strategy and Solution. In ISO22301, the business continuity strategy title has been added with two extra words called and solution. Okay, so in BC, it's now called BC Strategy and Solution in ISO22301. But for our methodology, we stick to BCS. It's much easier to explain. Okay, where are we now? Last Monday, what we gone through, RAR, BIA. Now we are doing BC Strategy, and then we are doing Plan Development, we are doing testing. All right, when we go into Module 3, we are going to do this. By 2 Mondays from now, I am expecting you guys to present to the class as a management team, your RAR report, your BIA report, and your BCS report. Okay, that's the expectation. And then there will also be exercise to summarize at the end of Module 3 to understand this whole concept in a case study. Okay, so that's the expectation that you guys will be doing. Last but not least is exercising on Thursday on the Module 4, which is three Mondays from now. We are going to go into 3 concepts. One is called Command Center Operation, Crisis Communication, short one. I'm not going to go into because we have a separate certification for this requirement. And last but not least, we are going to highlight how to do a testing exercising. Most organizations can get this done quite easily because it's paper exercise, but a lot of organizations cannot get the testing right. Or rather, you're not confident to get it right. And hence, we're going to spend at least 2 hours in testing exercising. So this is what is the planning methodology. Okay, the only criticism for this planning methodology is if some of you have seen our competitor, I don't call them competitor, they call me competitor, the BCI and DRI, I call them actually global providers like me. What I found is that should RAR come first or BIA come first, or BIA come first or RAR come first, you know what I mean? So there's no right or wrong answer in BCP. In business continuity, what you need to do is, like example, some organization, RAR has been taken over by your enterprise risk management team. But even that, they will not do a good job because to them, it's only fire and power outage full stop. And maybe now terrorist attack, now add one more pandemic, right? But they are not going to go into the details of the detailed threats, which will help you refine your critical business function and the whole process, okay? So there's no right or wrong answer. So some people like to do critical function first, but it's not, to me, in the institute, I find it not useful. Why? Because we need to know which country you are in, which location you are in. Okay, like Andrew, if you are in Manila, you have a different set of problems. You are right in the center of Luzon, you have a different set of threats, right?
Correct.
And all these things. So let's start off with where I am and exactly where's my playground. So, but a lot of people, hey, let's talk about what is critical to our function. Not true. I have a very different philosophy. Again, there's no right or wrong answer. So it's up to you to take the initiative and justify why BIA starts first. Like example, I've actually used BIA before to justify why this project must start. Because now that the management knows that this is high impact, and if there is potential disruption to the following critical function, they will be fired. And straight away, they support the program. Because it goes up the board says, I think we should do BCP because they want to cover their rear end. So BIA, I use it that way. So again, I leave that to you. This is why I find that you should be doing all the basic knowledge pre-reading you should read. And in between, I hope that this kind of experience will help you refine and polish your knowledge. All right, so let's move on. So what we're going to do is this. The most important thing is to understand what's this template all about. So halfway along the line, I'm going to drop this PowerPoint. I'll go to the slides and I'll go straight to the point. Okay. The other thing is to note that from today onwards, from October 2001 onwards, BC Strategy in the 2012 version is now called BC Strategy and Solution. Okay, so it's also 22301, 2019 version. Okay, next, think of what is strategy. Now, one of the common challenge all of you are having is this. You see, what happened is you guys just finished the BIA. Then the management will say, okay, these are critical, that's critical, let's write the plan. This is a common approach. Why do we need strategy? You're wasting our time. So think of strategy is, remember, when we are having a disaster, it's not business as usual. So a lot of people like to use the word BAU. Please don't use BAU in front of my face unless you have 100% fully backup identical operation in 2 locations. Even the stock exchange doesn't use the word BAU. Okay, they call it a hot standby with full cutover. They will never use business as usual. Okay, so think of it as an interim set of strategy to maintain your critical business function. And ladies and gentlemen, let me share with you something that you may be very uncomfortable now. What COVID-19 has done to this profession is they have just destroyed the concept of alternate site. Okay, most of you, I bet my last dollar has been working from home or beginning to come back to work or still at home. So basically, what I'm trying to conclude in this simple conversation is this: the concept of alternate site has been fully destroyed. One is the nature of business, like healthcare, that you do only have one premise site and you have no alternate site. You close, means you're done. Okay, the other bunch of guys will be geographically spread. Like example, our friend from the Philippines. I mean, you have another thousands of islands, and you definitely have thousands of locations. So basically, there's a possibility of alternate site, but the problem is that the integration and the ability to operate from another location for whatever reason may not be there. Okay, then alternate site, the alternate site concept is still staying there. But the last one is that working from home is the alternate site. I just want to tell you, there's 2 schools of thought now. A lot of CEOs actually, I don't know. I think they're trying to cash in on the cost saving. They say at least my 80% of my staff can work from home. We are going to close down most of our operation. I'm not going to go to this argument. There's no right or wrong answer. The other bunch of guys say, no, we have to bring our staff back. So the argument is nothing to do with business continuity, is to deal with the maturity of your people and the mental state of your people. This is another area which BCP don't come in, unfortunately, but we have to be very careful, because if you don't go back to office often enough, there is a mental problem after that. I'm going to share with you this kind of problem. You will see that. But the point I'm trying to make is alternate site. At home, you're doing business as usual, except you have no access to critical application, which the new way forward for business continuity is digitalization. Okay, I have the luxury of going to one of my clients while they're having COVID-19. They have what we call, I can't remember what you call, live PC or something like that. So what happened is to them, they can go to any machine, use their card, pass card, slap on the card, and then their data and everything else is on the screen. So they can fly to London, do the same in London, slap onto any of the desks. It's like hot desking. Slap onto the desk, their systems available. They are filthy rich, okay? Financial institution. If you have that kind of thing, basically, COVID-19 is not a major issue. Okay, so again, all these things are strategy. So I don't want to get carried away, but I just want to keep everybody thinking about alternate site being a challenge to us. A lot of people felt that we will take out alternate site. Okay, reason is because bosses say we should be working from home. Okay, so this is where you have to put a stand to it. Who should be in the office, or rather maybe the office will be at that same size, social distancing, and then some people come in for 2 days, some people come in for 3 days, and so on and so forth, until COVID-19 is over. Okay, so that's the other thing. One final comment I have to make is this. A lot of us are confused during the COVID-19. One of the reasons a lot of organizations find that BCP is a waste of time, because what is the definition of activation of a plan? You have to be denied access to your people, process, and infrastructure. What COVID-19 activation, even with our circuit breaker, there is no, there's actually technically no denial of access to your people process infrastructure. It's the government stopping you from going to work. Okay. But what I'm trying to emphasize is that's the reason why you don't activate your BC plan. But some smart BCM manager activate their plan and tell management, say, yes, I agree, the condition activation must be a denied access. So that is the preview to some of the discussion. The last part is this. Let's say if one of your staff is infected and then alleged to be infected also and so forth, is that a BCP? Do you activate your business continuity plan? You don't. Why? Because it is an incident management. You will quarantine the person, you will send him to the hospital, you will clean up the place, you will quarantine, people will talk to them, and then maybe 2 to 3 days, you should be back to business. It's an incident management. All right, so again, there's a change in philosophy in business continuity. I hope I didn't confuse you, but you will be slowly being challenged by management because they're coming in with this kind of thinking. So you have to be very strong in your fundamentals when you handle these things. So strategy is, what are the set of interim operating strategy that you want to do? Do you want to work all from home now, which is currently the in thing? At least for, I know, at least for the next 12 to 18 months. All right, so this is what's the definition of BCS. Now, the more important thing is in terms of BCS is cost. If you want to maintain multiple sites, like what, for our benefit of the Singaporeans, by the way, Singapore Stock Exchange has 3 hot sites back to back. Some of you have heard of it 2-3 years ago, they went down. Okay, then now they have the third site. They refuse to tell me where's the third site, okay, because they say they have to kill me after that. But I know where's the second site. But having said that, they are willing to, at high cost, maintain a multiple processing site. So that's called the established capability. So if you want the strategy to have continuous, non-stop, continuous processing, please take note. The option is to establish. Like example, some of you are in manufacturing. Actually, a lot of my clients actually buffer stock of 3 months, 90 days, guaranteed for those big boys, and 90 days they ran out of stock. Okay, now they are buffering for 6 months or more, but that's going to be a cost. So again, they will have established, they get management's board approval to have more reserve to keep buffer stock. And the buffer stocks are getting very high now, not because of the stock, but because of the air freights and the sea freights. Okay, so this is something. Next, we will do the in between is we contract. Like just now, our friend from financial institution says very clearly, when we want to enter the alternate site, someone beat us to it. Okay, that's called a warm site or cold site, and on contractual basis, first come first serve basis. Because a warm site normally is 1:6 to 1:10. That's how they make money. So whoever makes the call, they assume that not everybody, the assumption is not everybody will call. But because of COVID-19, all 10 of the customer bidding for the same seat has called for it. And the first guy to run into the room gets to sit there for the next 3 months. And the other 9 poor souls do not have alternate site. Okay, so this is where the concept of contracting comes in. So there'll be a agreement. Some of you use service bureau like payroll and so on and so forth. Okay, the last is the procure. Procure normally is the slowest. You take like example, if you are short of notebooks, how do you procure? You will have a signing contract. Hey, can you deliver 100 notebook to me? But bear in mind, procurement means there's a downtime, there's a RTO. Remember what you learned last week? Recovery time objective means you will be down for at least 2 to 3 days. Okay, I used to work in GIC. What I did is this: every time I knew if ever there's a COVID-19, whenever I call, someone will beat me to it to my 150 PCs. Okay, and guess what happened? I'll be in shit after that. Okay, excuse my French. But the most important thing is, how do I make sure that I will have it? Then Acer was one of my providers. Now it's Dell. What we did was this: I actually pay Acer a premium every month for the rest of my life. Okay, the moment something happens, the first 50 notebooks will belong. Whoever they're going to send to belongs to me now. Okay, because I pay a premium. Okay, so that's called a dropship requirement. So I will procure. but the downtime is 1 day. Then the next 100, I expect it to be up, to be given to me. The next 100 notebook will be 48 hours later. Okay, so these are all the resupply contract that some of you may want to consider. And of course, don't do anything is one of them, or provide alternate supply. Some of you are providing services, get your competitor to provide services. So all these are procurement. So I repeat, in the strategy you have from a cost benefit analysis, you must use this as a justification. If the management say die, you must have, sorry for foreign friend, die means by hook, by crook, you will have this capability, you establish. If you find that it's too expensive, and then you're betting that this is a shared environment, not everybody is going to make the call, like COVID-19, then contract does work. That's why all of you, some of you have all alternate sites, hot, warm site, with let's say NCS, IBM, HP. You call half an hour later, you will not get the place. Okay, the worst is I've seen people jacking up the price now. Okay, so that's another thing. So one of the trend that you guys must start to consider is there is a lot of office provider now providing office. Okay, that's one of the way that you should try to engage your facilities or your admin or whoever. So start thinking about, if I need another 50 seats for whatever reasons, I'm not going to build. Who can I find? There's a company like Regis of the world and so forth. So that is one possibility. So start thinking about alternate site as not something that you procure, you contract, but yeah, you still contract, but they are available. They are available seats everywhere. Okay, and they are stepping up very, very fast now. So this is another concept contract. Okay, so this is a quick summary of what are the options that's given from low cost to high cost. Basically, at the end of the day, once you develop a strategy, okay, I'll give you an example. Let's not talk about COVID-19. If I have a couple of strategy on the normal day before COVID-19, you will probably have an alternate site, either in another of your office or you subscribe to a provider in your country. Okay, so that's called alternate site. The second one you will do is, another strategy is you outsource. Okay, you outsource to a third party. One other strategy is decentralized. Means I will start to think about decentralized two operations. I did a job with Bangkok Bank. What they did was, after the BCP project, they actually they have actually two payment systems. One is about 15 kilometers away, unfortunately near the river. Then the other one is in town in Silong Road itself. So basically, this is an example. What are the strategy that you'll be developing? And at the end of the day, it's all about cost benefit analysis. Okay, so there are a lot of solutions to these things. The only thing is, why say, Dr. Goh, why can't I just get out of my face? I want to write the plan procedure now. Now, this is the part where you need a lot of strategic thinking and a lot of agreement by management, because it's very expensive. So when you start writing the plan and then don't finish this phase, what you have just done is a lot of actually shortcoming to your plan, because management did not agree. And you'll be surprised, management is going to say 80% after COVID-19, 80% of you are going to work from home. Okay, so that may be one of the decision points. And you will say, sir, not possible. They say, no worry, my IT security team, my cyber security team will patch all your so-called internet access. Okay, which I don't think is possible. Okay, so like example, this session that I'm having, someone could just type it in. I don't see a problem with some cybersecurity smart guys to tap in the set if they want to. Okay, so this is something that you might want to consider. Okay, last but not least, advantages, disadvantages. Go back to cost, because management felt this way. But my advice to you now, thanks to COVID-19, is cash in now. When I say cash in now, what I'm trying to say is that anything that you have been asking for the last 3, 4 years, 5 years, you should ask for it now. I just got Stadio. Stadio is a very old friend of mine. He's actually he's actually with Alpha Bank. Most of you, I've not seen you during the webinar last month. From Alpha Bank is number 2 bank in Athens. So what happened, he told me, was he's been trying to make sure that people can remotely access his system. So when COVID-19 hits Greece, Greece went for full shutdown straight away. Not like us, we gradually shut down. And when they shut down, the bank has 12,000 staff operating in Athens. That was his presentation, by the way. And only 800 people can access the system remotely from home. But we have 12,000 staff. Now, long story short is in 2 months, they managed to get 2,005 people to access. And in 3 months, they managed to get almost 4,000 people, and say they max out because there's no infrastructure, not enough infrastructure to support them. But what I'm trying to say is, what he told me personally was, he says, if not for COVID-19, we have been trying to justify this for the last 5 years, and the management doesn't care. But what you'll be surprised, and IT said not possible. And what we have achieved now within 3 months is what we cannot achieve in 5 years, and management is not willing to pay a single cent. Okay, so like I say, in BCP, I teach you how to be bad, cash in now. Okay, there's always to me, this is the opportunity. You want to do anything that, and you better, when you justify to management to make us more resilient, they will buy. Okay, so the key word that I want you to take away by the end of today is not only business continuity, and the more important thing is being resilient. Means how can we minimize the impact by developing new infrastructure, by digitalization, by putting in more processes and putting on system example. Okay, so all these are very important things that you have to start thinking of, and cost becomes not the mainstream in your justification anymore. The justification is the organization now can withstand what our Singapore Prime Minister have said, disease X, which is worse than COVID. All right, so that's exactly where I'm coming from.